Let me ask you an uncomfortable question, and I need you to be honest with yourself before you answer. Have you ever felt different? Like your head worked in a way that most people just don't understand? Like you overthink, overquestion, overfeel, and yet sometimes doubt whether you're smart enough? If you answered yes, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, because there's a real chance you're doing exactly what truly intelligent people have learned to avoid. Not for lack of knowledge, not for lack of effort, but because of behavioral patterns that no one has ever pointed out to you. And today, that changes. In this video, I'm not going to tell you what smart people do. Everyone's already done that. I'm going to show you what they do. They stop doing it. And that difference is everything. But before we continue, if you've made it this far, this channel probably resonates with you. So subscribe now, turn on notifications, and join us on this journey. Now, let's continue. Do you know what's curious? The people who most doubt their own intelligence are often the smartest in the room. It's no coincidence. There's even a name for it in psychology, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Those who know little tend to think they know a lot. Those who truly know realize how much they still don't know. And this generates a constant feeling of inadequacy. Do you feel like this sometimes? That voice in your head that says, what if I'm not as smart as people think? That exhaustion from overthinking before making any decision. That feeling that you're always analyzing everything, conversations, situations, people, while others seem to live much more carefree lives. This is not weakness. This is the mark of a mind that processes the world in layers, but there is a point where this processing starts to work against you, where intelligence, without the right behaviors, becomes a trap. And that's exactly what this video is about. Before we get to the list, I need to tell you something important. When most people think of intelligence, they think of high grades, difficult vocabulary, and knowing more facts, dates, and formulas. But that definition is wrong, or at least it's incomplete. True intelligence isn't about how much you know. It's about how you think, how you react, what you choose to ignore, what you choose to question, and most importantly, which automatic behaviors you are consciously able to turn off. Modern neuroscience has shown that the human brain is a shortcut creating machine. We call these heuristics. They are automatic responses that the brain develops to save energy. Most of the time, these shortcuts are useful. But at other times, they sabotage us in ways we don't even realize. Highly intelligent people are not those who never make mistakes. They are those who have learned to recognize when their own brain is trying to play tricks on them. And that's why what they avoid it says much more than what they do. So here we go. The 7 behaviors that very intelligent people simply don't do anymore. Intelligent people don't need to be right all the time. I'll give you a second to let this land, because most people do the exact opposite. Most people enter arguments with the unconscious, sometimes even conscious goal of proving they were right, of winning, of not looking stupid. And that seems reasonable, right? After all, defending your point of view is a sign of confidence. But it's not quite like that. There's a psychological phenomenon called confirmation bias. The human brain, by default, seeks information that confirms what it already believes, and it automatically discards anything that contradicts it. It's not bad faith. It's biology. The problem is that when you need to be right, you close your mind precisely at the moment when it needs to be open. Highly intelligent people have developed a rare skill. They can say, I was wrong, without feeling like they're losing something. Because they understand that updating a belief isn't defeat. It's evolution. Think about the people you admire most intellectually. Do they stubbornly cling to outdated ideas until the end? Or do they change their minds when the evidence changes? Intelligence isn't about never making mistakes. It's about making mistakes quickly, recognizing them, and moving forward with greater clarity. Do you still feel that discomfort when you have to admit you were wrong? Intelligent people don't react impulsively. There's a scene that everyone has experienced at some point. Someone says something that irritates you, or provokes you, or disrespects you, and your brain, in a fraction of a second, already has the answer ready. You already know exactly what to say. You already have your finger on the trigger, and then you take off, and sometimes hours later you find yourself thinking, why did I say that? This has a name. The amygdala, a brain structure linked to emotions, can literally hijack your ability to reason before the prefrontal cortex. The rational part can process what's happening. Neuroscientist Daniel Goleman called this emotional hijacking, and very intelligent people are not immune to this. But they have learned to create a space between stimulus and response. This space is where intelligence lives. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, said something that has become etched in history. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose. Intelligent people aren't cold. They aren't insensitive. They feel everything, sometimes they feel too much. But they've learned that reacting quickly is rarely the same as reacting well. Have you ever missed something important because you responded impulsively? Intelligent people don't go around explaining themselves to everyone. This is going to hurt a little. But it needs to be said. Have you ever found yourself wasting energy trying to make someone understand your point of view? And the more you explained, the less the person seemed to want to understand? You tried one angle, then another, and in the end you were exhausted, frustrated, and still misunderstood? This is a very common pattern in people who think deeply. And there is a psychological reason for this to happen. When you have a mind that processes the world in layers, you naturally want others to see what you see. You want to be understood. And this need, which is completely human, can turn into a silent trap, because the truth is, not everyone wants to understand. Some people have already come into the conversation with their conclusions formed. And no amount of explanation will change that. You can be the most articulate person in the world. You can have all the arguments, all the evidence. And still the answer will be the same. Highly intelligent people have learned something liberating. You don't need everyone's approval for your perspective to be valid. This doesn't mean arrogance. It means discernment. It means knowing how to distinguish between those who are genuinely open to dialogue and those who just want an audience to confirm what they already believe. And you know what happens when you stop wasting energy? Explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand. You start having the energy to build real connections with people who actually care about what you think. The loneliness that many intelligent people feel doesn't stem from being misunderstood. It comes from continuing to try to be understood by the wrong people. Have you ever felt like you needed to justify yourself too much just to be accepted? Intelligent people don't treat the opinions of others as absolute truth. Let me ask you a quick question. How many of your current beliefs were chosen by you? And how many were simply absorbed? From family, school, friends, media, social networks? This question is unsettling because the honest answer for most of us is much more absorbed than chosen. Human beings are profoundly social creatures. And that's beautiful in many ways. But there's a dark side. We tend to adopt the beliefs of the group in order to be accepted. Psychology calls this social conformity, and it's much more powerful than most people imagine. Solomon Asch conducted a classic experiment in the 1950s where he showed that normal, healthy people without any cognitive problems agreed with clearly wrong answers, simply because the group around them agreed first. Think about it. Intelligent people, under normal circumstances, abandoning what their own eyes see just to avoid disagreeing with the group. Now imagine what this does to more complex beliefs. To opinions about career, relationships, politics, lifestyle. Highly intelligent people are not immune to social pressure. But they have developed the habit of pausing and asking, do I truly believe this? Or have I simply never questioned it? This simple question is one of the most powerful tools a mind can possess. It's not about disagreeing with everything just to seem different. That's empty rebellion. It's about having the intellectual courage to examine your own beliefs with the same skepticism you would apply to the beliefs of others. When was the last time you questioned something you'd always believed without properly examining it? If you identify with any of these behaviors, take a second and leave a like now. This really helps the channel reach more people who need to hear this. And if you already recognize a behavior in yourself, write it in the comments. You'll be surprised. How many people are feeling exactly the same way you are? Intelligent people. Don't confuse busyness with productivity. This one here is one of the most dangerous, because it looks like a virtue, Modern culture has created a cult of movement. Being constantly busy has become synonymous with doing something important. A full schedule has become a trophy. Tiredness has become proof of dedication. And many intelligent people fall into this trap. Sometimes even more than average. Because the active mind, which processes a lot, which sees connections in everything, is naturally attracted to stimuli, to projects, to possibilities. But there is a huge difference between movement and progress. You can spend the whole day answering emails, attending meetings, checking notifications, doing tasks. And at the end of the day, look back and realize you haven't moved an inch toward what really matters. Cal Newport, a computer science professor and author of Deep Work, makes a distinction that has changed how many people think about this. He separates shallow work from deep work. Shallow work is anything that seems productive but doesn't require real concentration and doesn't generate real value. Deep work is that state of total focus where the important things actually happen. And you know what the problem is? Shallow work is easy. It's comfortable. It gives you that feeling of movement without the discomfort of real effort. Highly intelligent people have learned to be brutally honest with themselves about this distinction. They ask, is what I'm doing right now getting me somewhere? Or am I just feeling busy? Occupation without direction is just tiredness disguised as effort. Can you tell when you're truly being productive and when you're just moving around? Intelligent people don't live on autopilot. Pay attention to this scene. You wake up. You grab your phone before even getting out of bed. You check your notifications. You go to the bathroom automatically. You drink coffee thinking about something else. You get in the car or public transport, and before you know it, you've arrived at your destination without remembering the way. You eat lunch staring at the screen. You arrive home tired without knowing exactly why. You lie down. You pick up your phone again. And the day passed. This is not fiction. Research from Harvard University shows that the human mind spends an average of 47% of its time thinking about something other than what it is doing. Almost half of life happens on autopilot, without real presence. And the most frightening part? The study concluded that a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. It doesn't matter what the person is doing. What determines well-being is not the activity itself, but whether the person is mentally present in it. Now, here's the paradox that especially affects very active-minded people. The more intelligent and analytical the mind, the more it tends to dwell in the past or the future. Revisiting old conversations. Anticipating scenarios that may never happen. Planning, ruminating, calculating. The powerful mind, without training, rarely rests in the present. And this comes at a huge cost, not only in well-being, but in the quality of decisions, in the depth of connections, in creativity, in the ability to truly listen, to truly be present anywhere. Highly intelligent people are not people who are never distracted. They are people who have developed the awareness to recognize when they are on autopilot. And that awareness in itself breaks the cycle. It's not about meditating for 3 hours a day or abandoning everything and living in a cabin. It's about something much simpler and much more difficult at the same time. The deliberate choice to truly show up for your own life, because you can have the most brilliant mind in the world. But if you're not there to use it, it's working against you. When was the last time you did something with complete attention, without dividing it with any other screen or thought? Intelligent people don't shy away from the discomfort of growth. This is the last one, and perhaps the most important of all. There's a phrase that seems obvious but that almost no one truly experiences. Growing up hurts. And the human brain is programmed to avoid pain, to seek security, predictability, comfort. So what naturally happens is that we create zones. Zones of intellectual, emotional, and social comfort. Places where we already know what to expect, where the risks are known, where there are no unpleasant surprises, and within those zones, we stop growing. There's a concept in psychology called the zone of proximal development, developed by the Russian psychologist Lev Vygotsky. The idea is simple but powerful. Real learning happens at the edge of what you know, not within what you already master, not beyond what you can achieve. Exactly on the frontier, where there's enough challenge to demand effort, but not so much as to paralyze you. And what about the discomfort you feel at that border? That tightness, that insecurity, that feeling of not knowing if you'll make it. That's not a sign that you're in the wrong place. It's a sign that you are exactly where you need to be. Highly intelligent people have learned to interpret discomfort differently. They don't seek unnecessary suffering, but when they feel that specific discomfort of being challenged, of learning something new, of exposing themselves to a real risk of failure, they recognize that feeling as growth happening in real time, and they continue. Nonetheless, the difference isn't the absence of fear. It's not letting fear make the decision. People who stop challenging themselves stop evolving. And a mind that stops evolving slowly begins to wither. Not all at once, not dramatically, but day after day, choice after choice, each time comfort was chosen instead of growth. Is there something you know you need to face but keep avoiding because it's too uncomfortable? So we've reached the end. But before you close this video, I want you to take away one idea. Throughout this video, we talk about 7 behaviors: needing to be right, reacting impulsively, explaining yourself to those who don't want to understand, absorbing opinions without questioning, confusing movement with progress, living on autopilot, and avoiding the discomfort of growth. None of these are about a lack of intelligence. They are all about a lack of awareness. And here's the key takeaway. I want you to learn in life. True intelligence isn't about knowing more than others. It's about having the ability to see yourself clearly enough to realize when you're becoming your own obstacle. The most intelligent people are not those who never make mistakes. They are those who have developed an honest relationship with themselves, who can look at their own behavior without defensive ego, who can ask themselves, is what I'm doing working for me? Or am I just repeating an old pattern for comfort? Self-awareness is the rarest intelligence that exists. And the good news? It's not a gift. It's a practice. It's a choice that is repeated every day in small moments, in small pauses before reacting. In small questions you ask yourself, you're already here. You're already asking the right questions. That alone says a lot about who you are. Now tell me in the comments. Which of these 7 behaviors did you recognize in yourself? No judgment. This space is for honesty and growth. If this video made you think, if you identify with any part of it, leave a like now. This really helps the channel to continue bringing content like this to you. And to more people who need to hear this. And look, a video is playing on the screen now. I chose it especially for you since you made it to the end of this one. I think it will pick up exactly where this one left off. See you there.